Good afternoon and welcome to Java with Jim. I'm Jim Reese, Director of Business Development at Offit Kurman. I'm joined here today by Crystal Kramer, Practice Group Chair for the Landlord Representation Group. Crystal, thanks for joining me this afternoon.
Thanks for having me, Jim.
Sure. All right, well, let's jump in. Crystal, tell us about the Landlord Representation Group and how this group helps our clients at Offit Kurman.
Yeah, absolutely. So our group, the name pretty much describes what we do. Our group primarily represents landlords and property management companies for multifamily residential as well as commercial real estate. And what we really do encompasses many areas of law, including litigation, real estate transactions, creditors' rights, and contract and property law issues. So we're really able to assist and advise our clients on the wide range of issues they may face on a daily basis. Much of the time right now, we've been spending keeping abreast of all the legal regulations and new federal and state laws that have been implemented due to COVID. And we've been advising our clients of those constantly changing laws and regulations, as well as hosting free webinars for both our clients and for the public to attend to keep up to date on all of the constantly changing laws. In addition to that, we also handle fair housing disputes and fair housing litigation. We help draft fair housing policies for our clients and train our clients on the Fair Housing Act and how to ensure they remain compliant with the Fair Housing Act. We also litigate failure to pay rent cases, holdover cases, defend tenants assertion cases, pursue criminal conduct cases in court, and we can edit and draft lease agreements and related documents for our clients. So that's just a quick summary of the many different types of tasks we might be handling on any given day for our clients.
Right, and we talked before we went live here. We talked about the various moratoriums on evictions. Can you cover that real quickly? And where are we today, this hour, this minute? Because I know it's a moving target.
It absolutely is. So today is August 3rd, 2021. And as of right now, the CDC order that provided an eviction moratorium in certain non-payment of rent cases has lapsed. But I was saying just before we hopped on, I received a news alert that President Biden is going to be announcing some sort of extension to that that may only apply in areas and jurisdictions where the coronavirus pandemic has the number of cases have increased. So I'll be interested to see how that law or regulation is worded, because I'm not quite sure how we're going to determine which jurisdictions that will actually apply to and for how long.
Never a dull moment, and we'll wait to hear the next alert, as you said. Can you share with us a recent story that illustrates how the Landlord Representation Group provided a solution for an Offit Kurman client?
Yeah, well, that was actually a great transition, because I was going to mention something that occurred recently during the COVID pandemic. So as everyone knows, COVID's been a difficult time for both tenants and landlords. But on the positive side is that the government has set aside millions of dollars in rent relief funds to assist tenants in paying their rent, those who have been impacted by COVID at least, so that they can stay in their homes. And then also obviously benefits our clients, the landlords, because it gets them paid and it keeps, otherwise good residents in their households. So there was a unique situation that one of our clients in Virginia had. The tenant was a residential tenant in an apartment complex who had been impacted by COVID, had lost their job. And the issue, though, was that the lease that this tenant signed, the tenant had put the name in the name of his corporate entity as opposed to his individual entity. And the rent relief program is not set up to pay off commercial tenancy debt. So when the rent relief program received the rent relief application from this tenant and from the landlord, it was denied initially because the program thought that this was a commercial tenancy. So we worked very closely with our client, with the rent relief program, and with the tenant advocacy organization that was assisting the tenant with the application. And amongst all of us, we have gotten to the point where the rent relief application is going to be approved, and my client is going to receive a check for almost $40,000. that they almost didn't get because initially the application was denied. So those kinds of things we've been spending a lot of time on with our clients, trying to help them with getting as much rent relief money as they can right now.
Congrats on the good work.
Thank you.
I'm sure your client was very happy.
Yes.
So here's the most important question. Who is your favorite celebrity and why?
This was difficult because I was trying to think of someone who I've liked, for a long time and admired for a long time, and not just someone who I'm currently, infatuated with. But I love Elton John. He was the very first concert I saw, I think, back in 6th or 7th grade. And I just think he's a very talented performer and musician. I saw him again a couple years ago, and we'll see him next year when he comes back to DC, and he's still got it. So it's very impressive. And I also really admire everything that he's done to raise awareness as well as money for AIDS research and prevention programs. So I think outside of his talent, he's also a good person doing good work.
So he says this is his final tour, but is this really his final tour?
I do think it's going to be his final tour. When I saw him, I think it was 2 years ago. I think it was the year before the pandemic. I mean, he was excellent, but I also thought, he's quite old and he has 2 young kids, so I'm sure he wants to enjoy some time with his family.
Yeah, well, that's a great favorite celebrity. I like that one. Well, thanks for spending time with me today. Appreciate you bringing everybody up to date with the landlord representation group at Offit Kurman, and I look forward to seeing you sometime soon.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jim.
All right. Bye.
Bye.